Up, Whitey Nerdigans? This is the one and only Packer Girl 89, and today's hashtag book nerdigan discussion is the second part of Emblaze by Jessica Shirvington. If you have not read Embrace, Entice, or Emblaze, because this is the third book in the Violet Eden Chronicles, or Violet Eden series, I should say, by Jessica Shirvington, or have watched any of my book nerdigan discussion videos, including part 1 of Emblaze, then what the commie and are you doing here? Go read the books, go watch the videos, and then come back here so we can talk about it, because none of my friends read these books, and apparently booktubers haven't read these books either. So that's why I'm doing these. And this book, as I've mentioned before, is part of the hashtag Angel Readathon. So you need to understand when I get to my the ultimate book nerdigan rant, you need to read these books so you understand why. So anyway, where we left off was, and thank you Minnie Popo for showing the beautiful cover once more. And we'll see Minnie Popo. Hopefully I don't have to do a part 3 on this one like I had to with Entice, because Entice had a lot of mythology in there. That's why I did 3 parts for Entice. So hopefully Minnie Popo will be ready for Endless. But anyway, where we left off in the previous book nerdigan video, I'm just going to give you I'm just going to start right where I left off, was where Onyx was about to reveal where we were going to go where Phoenix was about to head off to release Lilith. And that was going to be, and now I'm going to reveal the location, which is the Cyclades Islands in Greece, and more specifically Santorini, or otherwise known as Thera. So the story behind it is, behind Santorini or Thera, is that it was an entire civilization built on top of a volcano, and around 1630 BC, well, Onyx had to correct them and say 1630 BC. The volcano erupted, and the blast was so enormous that a great chunk of the island sunk into the ocean, and what is left now is just the outer rim. And some people believe it caused the destruction of the Minoan civilization on the neighboring island of Crete. And some believe that Thera was the home of the lost city of Atlantis. And I loved how Onyx was introducing it. And you kind of had an idea, like right before they went into the story of Santorini and Thera, that he was like, only Plato was the only human to figure it out. I was like, I knew this was going to go into an Atlantis route. So anyway, the volcano, continuing on, the volcano sinks beneath the waters, but it is slowly rising from the water ever since, and it is very much arrived. And at that point, they figured out that the volcano itself is the gate to hell, which is really badass. I thought that was awesome, that the volcano is the gate to hell, or what people say is hell. I love that Steph is like, Steph is coming this time too, and Violet's like, fuck no, you're not coming at all, but Griffin's like, yeah, she has to come. She's kind of an asset because Steph is a genius that figured this out. And there's still part of the transcript that needs to be translated, and plus Steph figured the transcript out before the Gregory did in the academy. And plus Dapper and Onyx are coming, and Dapper will come too and help Steph translate the scripture and keep Steph safe. And I love that. As I mentioned, I'm starting to love Dapper more and more. So at 9 p.m. they have to be at the airport at 9 p.m. and Beth and Archer are going to run the city while they're away, so don't worry, the city's going to be protected. And I love this. So every Gregory, so according to Griffin, every Gregory, because Violet was worried she didn't, because she didn't have a passport. So Griffin gave Violet a passport, credit card, and other forms of identification. So apparently, because Gregory don't age, or age slowly, I should say, and they live very long lives, it's standard, so the government can't trace the Gregory, and it's badass. And Onyx is going to get documents too. And I love Onyx. You know how to get to Dapper right away, because he's like right afterwards, Onyx is like, keys, and Dapper's like, no, and Onyx is like, keys, he's like, and Onyx is like, you just found out that we're gonna go, you just found out about where the gates of hell are. Don't tell me you don't want liquor. And Dapper, like, totally kicks in. And I'm just like, yeah, there's something, you know something's going on there. And I love them as a couple. They are awesome. They are, like, they have to be one of the best couples one of the best gay couples in books. I love them as a couple. And you guys can't deny it that they are a great couple through their alcohol-fueled relationship. And I love when Violet's about to leave. And her dad is, her dad's trying to, because of Caroline, her dad's trying to be a parent, a good parent now. And, she's like, I have to leave now. I'm sorry, I gotta leave. And she gave him the box that Evelyn left for her, include with the letters, and leaves. And she said she has to leave and do what Evelyn wanted her to do. And she promised him an explanation upon her return. And she had to snap the door handle, and she was off to the airport with Steph. She couldn't wait anymore. I thought it was really sad, and what really was crazy, what made the situation even more crazy was when he saw the markings on her wrist, on Violet's wrist. That's when he really knew that she was telling the truth. I was like, damn. But anyway, and then we meet Josephine. Yeah, we're gonna meet. I'll get to Josephine in a second, because I'm gonna ask the real question. Because we know how people named Josephine are, if you guys remember in the God and Monster series by Kelly Keaton. Oh boy. But I thought this was awesome. When they go to the airport and they go through security check, Spence says that the passports are all under glamour, so wherever they go, they will present to customs as if they are a passport of that country. So no matter where they go, when they arrive, someone will say, "Welcome home." And I think that's so amazing. Like, I wish I had a passport like that. Like, that's why I'm, like, waiting. I wish I was a Gregory. I want my angel powers to kick in, damn it. I mean, being a Saiyan kicks ass, but, I mean, I want angel powers, too. Or, I really want magical powers or fairy powers, damn it. But, we also find out that Spencer's last name is Gregory. And originally Smith was given to him from his foster parents, but he changed it after when he found out he was Gregory. So I see what you did there, Jess. I see what you did there. And I love it when they get on the plane and Zoe and Sal are there, and Steph like stops and she sees Salvatore, and she just jumps in his arms, and they're just like in lip lock the whole time. And, like, right before they take off, Griffin's like, I'm going to get to Josephine in a second, because meaning Josephine comes first, but I have to say, I love when Griffin's like, Steph and Salvatore, that they need to have their seats in the upright position before I take off. And they're still in lip lock. I thought that was funny. And I think it's really cute. Like, Steph and Salvatore have to be they have to be the cutest couple ever. I love Steph and Salvatore together. They're like, remember Maddox and Chloe were a cute couple? Yeah, Steph and Sal are definitely up there in cutest couples. But anyway, now let me get to Josephine. And I think it's funny that Griffin called her Jossie, and I kind of wish that someone called Josephine in the Gods and Monsters series Jossie, because I would love to see the reaction on her face. I really would have. Like, before she got her head chopped off, of course. I'm sorry, I spoiled it for you. But this Josephine, no, that doesn't happen. But Griffin calls her a friend, and, it doesn't look like a Jossie. And I gotta say that Josephine kind of reminds me, because I just finished watching Kill la Kill, she kind of reminds me of Satsuki in a way. Because she is that authoritative figure, but like how Satsuki is in Kill la Kill, and she's like a total bitch like Satsuki is, but when you get to Endless, especially, or not Endless, when you get to near the end of Endless and Empower especially, you'll understand what I mean. How Josephine is a lot like Satsuki from Kill la Kill. And I love what Lincoln said about the situation with Violet's dad. He said, you'll make it through this, and you'll always have a home to come back to. I was like, oh, that was... I'm getting so close to saying that Lincoln is better than Fenris, even though Lincoln has had his asshole moments, and I know he's had a reason to do that. But I have to say this also, is Lincoln reminds me of Inuyasha. He does, because Inuyasha had his asshole moments too, and the only difference is that Lincoln didn't have the shit like Inuyasha did with Kikyo. That's the only difference between Lincoln and Inuyasha. Well, Lincoln's not half demon either, but Gregory comes pretty close to that. He's just not a demon. And I thought it was sweet that Lincoln let Violet sleep on the plane, and that he said to Steph, he's like, hell no, he's like, no one's gonna wake Violet up, not even Steph. And Lincoln is there right next to her and letting her sleep on him. I'm like, oh, it's so cute. And I just love the soul-crushing need of love is there, but damn it, I hate that they can't give in. It's like, seriously, just do it. I know the shit with Rudy happened, and Rudy and Nyla, but you just got to give into it. I mean, if I were in their shoes, I wouldn't give a fuck. I'm sorry, especially when there's a gorgeous Gregory like Lincoln there. I wouldn't give a fuck. Like, I would take the risk. I'm sorry. And according to Violet, anyway, he smells like hot days at the beach. He's like the sun, like he is the sun. And when he uses his power, he smells and tastes like sweet honey on toast. And blocking Lincoln is wrong. Like blocking out the sun. I love I love the diction in here. I'm going to mention this a lot. And I want to mention this too, because I remember I was tweeting Susan E., the writer of Pembroke and the End of Days, which is the series I'm going to do after I finish all the Jessica Shirvington books. And she asked, like, and I'll probably mention, I'll probably mention this in Endless too. She asked, what kind of, like, when an author writes a love scene, like, how do you want it to, how do you like it when an author writes a love scene? And I put in there, I like it, it all depends on the type of book that the author writes, and the diction has to fit the scene, and I like it as subtle, I like it as subtle as possible, and I like that it has to fit the situation, and it has to be, it has to be as subtle as possible, and the diction has to fit the diction or language has to fit the situation. And Susan E. tweeted me back, and she's like, that has to be one of the best. She loved the answer I gave her, and I tweeted back to her. I said to her, "This is why I love fantasy fiction." I just had to put that out there. But anyway, so basically, Josephine will be leading the operation in Santorini, while Griffin will be getting the recruits from the Athens Gregory. And Lincoln will be speaking on Griffin's behalf, which is a smart move because Griffin is smart. So apparently Zoe and Sal found a way to get on. I love that how Zoe and Sal found a way to get their review of the case from the previous book delayed indefinitely. So let's just say it was a mistake for Mr. Romeo Craven to mess with that shit with a sense of determination, which according to Spence involves Miss Cradle. Hashtag lips are sealed. And Nyla is still safe, and we find out Spence is a cheater. Don't play cards with Spence. He glamours the cards. So anyway, there are two volcanoes, and I want to fix that in my notes because that's bothering me. There are two volcanoes. So there's Pelea Kamini, which is the old volcano, and Nea Kamini, which is the new volcano. So Nea Kamini has a number of craters, and is the one that is believed to be active in the main focus. And until the Gregory gets favor from the Athens Gregory and the keeper of the island of Santorini, no one leaves the hotel. Except for Lincoln and Violet, because when they're in the taxi, and Lincoln is being uber sexy right now, because he's taking command and challenging Josephine, because Josephine is a bitch, and you'll see why in a second, saying he will escort Violet with Josephine and take the middle seat. Yeah, the awkward middle seat, you know. Yeah. And he made it clear to the, let me mention who the keeper is. So the keeper is one very powerful and very old exile, and he claimed ownership of the islands. And he made it clear to the Gregory, they are not welcome, but he struck a deal that, he struck a deal. So in return for them staying off the islands, he ensured that exiles wouldn't be permitted here either. So, yeah, that didn't work very well, actually. So the deal with the exiles is they have populated Greece for so long that without a force of resistance, that their numbers have grown to potentially dangerous levels. So that explains the riots in Greece. You know what riots I'm talking about, the riots because of the financial situation in Greece. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you need to look it up. So this agreement keeps the island free of roaming exiles in dangerous numbers, and it isn't perfect, but the keeper always stays true to his word, and Santorini has actually one of the lowest crime rates in all of Greece, and then violence is very unheard of. And also, in regards to the riots in Greece, I'm actually wondering, and I'm going to ask you guys this too, I'm wondering if exiles are secretly the anarchists that start the riots here in America. It just makes you wonder. Because you know that there's, like during some of the riots that happen in the streets, like during Ferguson and shit, because you do see white people there. I'm just curious if they're exiles in disguise. It makes you think about it, okay? And, let's see. Oh, okay, so the keeper is dangerous and motivated by intense greed, and of course led us to believe that he is not maliciously prone to brutality like most exiles, and his attentions delve elsewhere. And I gotta pull a Rubio for a second. And, oh shit! They did break the truce, and that's why Griffith is in Athens. So they can't return the keeper, but he does have a particular weakness and particular taste in jewelry, and damn, I want the diamonds! And we're gonna get there in a second. I will describe the diamonds, and you're gonna, Violet's gonna be a walking Tiffany's, and you're gonna be envious, women. Which have to be presented by a young woman with long dark hair and a power that intrigues them. Basically Violet, but then Tommy Lincoln is escorting her. Whew! And I still gotta say, Steph and Sal are very cute. They're so cute together, and Violet, you don't worry, Violet. Like, cause Violet's like worrying that, you know, she's not gonna get that what Steph and Sal have someday. Violet, you're gonna get it. Just chill the fuck out. And what's really weird is that the dress, because Violet's getting ready, I thought it was, and like, it's really weird that the dress that Phoenix liked for Violet is the one that Josephine ordered for Violet. And he's with her because Morgan is getting her dressed up, and Morgan's gonna come back again next book too. Seriously, don't stab the messenger, because Violet because ever since she became a Gregory in the events of Entice, she grabbed her dagger like right away, and she tried to stab Morgan, and I thought it was funny with Morgan. She just like grabbed Steph's left claw, and she's like, "Don't kill me!" I thought it was great. And according to Morgan, who looks like Warrior Barbie, everyone at the Academy chooses a major during their final year. So her partner Max chose ghosting, and because she's explaining what Josephine has like ninjas bodyguards. That's how Violet calls them, ninjas. And it's not, ghosting is not really her thing, but that's what Max wanted to do. And ghosts always get to work closely with Josephine, and he thought it would get them good placements. And confirmed, no one likes Josephine, but that's not her job. Well, it explains why she's a bitch. Okay, so let's get to the goods, and which is the jewelry. Because I want some of that jewelry. So the necklace that Violet's wearing is 4 rows of teardrop diamonds, each one a perfect 3 carats. Flat palm across the collarbone that has 72 carats of diamonds. Yeah, 72 carats, 7-2. I'm not stuttering here. 3 rings on each hand, looping diamond-studded earrings. Oh, I can't wear those. They would destroy my ears. A glittering bracelet on one wrist. On the other, a platinum armband with the design of a snake curling its way up Violet's arm, encrusted with small diamonds. Okay, I would probably wear that because I'm Team Slytherin, okay? The ankle bracelet, which is the most dainty and Violet's favorite piece, held matching those significantly smaller teardrops to complement the necklace. And finally, lifting the slit of the dress, which has which is beautiful. It has beautiful black beading and shit on it. Oh my god, I want to wear that dress, but in a different color because I don't like wearing black as much. There's a web of delicate chains holding an arrangement of vibrant emeralds in the pattern of a spider, and its 8 legs stretched across her thigh. That's gotta feel weird and hot at the same time, because imagine wearing that shit, especially on your wedding night. Oh my god. That's gotta be fucking hot and weird at the same time. And yeah, she's a walking Tiffany's at this point. And Morgan and her, it was so funny when Morgan and her got into a fight about the dagger, because Violet's like, the dagger's coming with me. Sorry, wherever I go, my weapon goes. I start cracking up. And Lincoln, thank God Lincoln came in. And shit, Lincoln looks so fucking hot. If I was there with Violet, if I was in Violet's shoes, I would have been like, okay, I'm sorry. Keeper's gonna have to wait. Lincoln's coming with me, and I'm going upstairs right now. I'm sorry. Blonde's in a tux. I'm sorry. I'm gonna surrender right then and there. So Max, Morgan's partner is going to be the driver, or he's not going to be the driver of the night. He's going to be accompanying them, but the keeper provided the driver in the car. So the terms of the deal: the keeper gets to look at the jewelry and take possession of it. And right before Violet gets in the car, Yuri appears, and he says something really interesting, and it's going to apply later on, and that's why I'm putting a lot of emphasis on this. So first you touch the human, then the spirit, then the angel. And god damn it, angels, these fucking suck. And apparently his touch, because Violet actually touches him, it feels weird. It feels weird too. So it's like a strength and innocence, and at the same time it's weird. And Yuri warns Violet about the keeper, that he is a collector, and he has many things that were never intended for this world. And in the right hands would be more appropriate. And he also said it's not because Violet's like, why aren't you helping us because of Lilith? You could have saved Rudy. You should have been helping us sooner. What the fuck? And Yuri said it's not for us to take action and not necessary to have the desire to help, as you put it. And already with you, we walk a fine line. I will say this: at least the angels are a step up from those bastard Fae. Because as I've mentioned before, with Fae, when we get to the fairy readathon, which will probably be, I'm hoping, later this year, you'll see Fae are fucking assholes. Well, not like, well, yeah, we saw that, actually we saw that earlier with the Wonder of Strange series. We saw how fucked up Fae are. So Violet is starting to see these sunspots/heat waves that are seen beside Yuri, like in Entice with Nox and Jordan, and they're known as reflections, which is all we get. And Yuri on Lilith, he says, because Violet's like, what about Lilith? Are you going to help us with that? Because Lilith is coming. And he says, trials will come and they will go. Those that are left standing must evolve. It is the way of the universe. So I'm like thinking, God, this is like hippie shit. That's what I was thinking. It was like, this is hippie shit. And I love what Yuri said after this. And then I was like, okay, this is not hippie shit anymore. Because I think Violet pissed him off. He's like, girl, all existence is a test. He brought out his inner beast. He's like, Girls, all existence is a test. Some just get challenged in more oblivious ways, or obvious ways, excuse me. And I do not give myself that title. I am an angel elect. Humans have decided elect must be light, malign must be dark. You also gave us wings and halos. And I thought that was a really good point, because it's the same with gods, too, if you think about it. Because if you noticed in my, when I was doing my mythology readathon earlier, before I started reading angel books, you would notice, too, especially in Star-Crossed and the Starling trilogy in particular, and even to an extent Wondrous Strange, and compare it to like the Percy Jackson series, for example, you would see that mythology has given, humans have given roles to different gods in the mythologies. So I thought that was a really good quote from Yuri. I thought that was amazing. And then on Lincoln, what he said, you have choices as always. Consent remains yours to be given freely. But you have the certain inclinations firmly embedded, so your path will not be altered easily. Though there are those who believe otherwise and are determined. And it just reminds me of, because I watched my marathon the last few episodes of Kill la Kill last night. It reminds me of Kill la Kill. It reminds me of Ryoko's character in Kill la Kill. Because, I'm not going to spoil it, but you got to watch the last half of Kill la Kill to understand what I'm talking about. Or I would just watch the whole series of Kill la Kill to understand. And on how to stop Phoenix, you cannot. Only he can stop himself. He must choose as must you. For him, the right choice has not yet crossed his path. Look what is old as not necessarily alluring to the eye, but certainly beguiled to the angel within. And with that, Yuri bids farewell, and grains of sand were left behind. And, well, that's new, because the last time Nox visited, there was nothing left behind. And Lincoln felt, and what was really strange was Lincoln felt the presence of Yuri too. And I'm going to say this right now because I've been really organized with my Book Nerdigan videos, and I'm just going to keep rolling with it. I'm going to probably make this one a really long Book Nerdigan discussion video. I'm just thinking of it right now. So, as I mentioned, the car, according to Maximilian, or Max for short, and that's Morgan's partner, the car was sent courtesy of the Keeper. So now we get to the Akatori Lighthouse, which is home of the Keeper and the bottom point of Santorini. All the figures were cloaked and faceless and will lead them to the Keeper. So Violet is panicking, and thank Kami for Lincoln pushing her forward. And there was the screaming, and I love what Lincoln said. He's like, keep walking. Remember who we are. Use your will. And Lincoln said, and that's what Lincoln said. And he held her hand, and if Lincoln was holding my hand, that would calm me down in a heartbeat too. I'm sorry, a gorgeous man holding my hand, yeah. And it turns out the screaming was coming from Violet. So once they entered the Keeper's chamber, Lincoln moved into the Court of Shadows for a better vantage point. So senses on the Keeper. It's similar to what Violet was sensing from Jude, if you remember that, because remember, the Keeper is a really old exile. So, excuse me. So her sense of taste was like a powdered apple that has been frozen and later thawed, and the smell was more like herbs and flowers, like a thyme and rosemary. And hearing, it was like the sounds of birds' wings flapping and crashing in the trees. And the touch was like conflicting sensations of warmth and chill through both her bones and blood. And sight, there was nothing, none of the flashes that you usually see. So let's get to the Keeper story, because I thought the Keeper story was really interesting. So, sorry, Mini Popo, I had to do that. So the Keeper is known as Urin, and he built a utopia on the island of Santorini, overflowing with wealth and sustenance. And he was originally ranked as a principality prior to being exiled, and he was the first of his kind and now the last. And he discovered a way to survive. And a physical form was that he was intended for. And you notice he isn't mentally unstable like the other exiles, and as a result, was able to assimilate with more ease. However, it also left him with needs. God, I just rhymed. And Aaron, I love how the chapter ended. It was that Aaron is just another name for Gregory. So, Holy Commune Arceus, he is keep in mind, the original Gregory. So, when the floods came, they destroyed all the exiles, and the then angel Gregory that had turned on all of their duties, and that were seeking vengeance, power, and women instead. So, according to Aaron, a few survived by going underground already when the waters came. And the room that they are standing in right now, was originally the basement of their palace. And his wife and him stayed here until the floods receded. And that was the reason he exiled for, was his wife, which I thought was really sweet. I mean, you don't hear these stories very much with angels, and you will notice that in a lot of angel series that we get to later on in the Angel Readathon. Let's see. Okay, here we go. She was a queen to her people, and they pulled a small group of them, Gregory, to safety and kept us beneath the ground. This is, I'm talking from Aaron's point of view. So when they surfaced, when they surfaced, they shared their knowledge and showed the people how to build a more incredible society than they ever seen. Water drainage, such as water drainage and delivery, how to build towns and castles. And due to the volcano, they were hidden from the prying eyes of angels. And the exiles that grew tired of living with Aaron, he sent them to Crete and told them to build their own kingdom there. But that was only a short-term solution, and the exiles grew so restless and desperate for their old army that they tried to open the gates of hell to release more of their fellow exiles. And that's what caused the volcano eruption that destroyed the civilization of Crete. And, as usual, they went underground again, but sadly, because his wife thought that Aaron was still above ground, she went up to search for him, and she didn't realize that he was already underground, and it was too late, and the wave already hit, and that's why Aaron will never leave, because the island was his and his wife, and he could have sustained her, and apparently exiles could, according to Aaron, that he could have sustained her mortal life force and have an eternity with her, and instead suffers her absence. And my heart breaks for Aaron, because it's that eternal type of love, and I just feel terrible for him. But anyway, now he has indulgences to occupy his time, so he has jewelry, ancient weapons, artifacts, coins, and Aaron still has his wife's necklace that holds a piece of the angel realm, and his sons. All right, and what it does is it helps to prevent illusions caused by anything or anyone angelic to the wearer. And she never appreciated like the other gifts he gave her, but their sons wanted to keep it. Yeah, they have this ancient Nephilim. And Aaron is going to take, so basically what's going to happen now, and something that I thought was cool with Aaron is that they offered champagne. He gave them champagne, and it was like endless champagne. So like every time Violet took a sip, it just kept refilling. And Violet was saying that this has got to be the best champagne ever. I'm like thinking, okay, I want some of this champagne. Please, Aaron, send me some of that shit. I will totally drink it. And so Aaron is going to take the jewelry off of Violet, and it's like, fuck. So Lincoln had to step in after the first 3 pieces were removed, because Aaron's taking the jewelry off of her. And, remember, Violet was almost raped. And, so Violet had to go into her, her happy place. And, it was disgusting. He was using his mouth to take the rings off of her. It was like, oh, that's so creepy and gross. Ew. So Lincoln finally stepped in, and I was, thinking, about fucking time. I was thinking, oh, Aaron, Aaron actually sounded hot though. I actually wouldn't have minded so much, but until I found out that he was a succubus, or not succubus, an incubus. Until I found out that Aaron was an incubus, like, I would have been totally fine with Aaron taking that jewelry off of me. And Lincoln figured it out. So what an incubus is some exiles discovered they could sustain their themselves and increase their power by feeding off of human emotions. So basically, you have empaths like Phoenix that can force emotions on people and take away emotions, but you know, still and still survive without, you know, feeding off of it. And then you have incubuses and succubuses. I guess from what I'm understanding is succubuses are the female versions of and incubuses are the male versions. And when we get to there's a book that we're gonna get to later on called Soul Screamers by Rachel Vincent. And I know there's I think there's an incubus in there too. When we get there, it will give us a little bit more insight on that. Few exiles have even dared to do it because it's so addicting. And the void Aaron's wife left him caused Aaron to become an incubus. So it was disgusting how Aaron described Lincoln and Violet's emotions. It was so gross. So basically, Lincoln and Violet are like lobsters in a world of mudfish for Aaron when it comes to the emotions on an island full of honeymooners. And Lincoln will take off the jewelry if Aaron agrees in exchange, and Aaron agrees to this in exchange for Violet kissing Lincoln, and Aaron will get more because it will bring Lincoln closer to his forbidden. And it's either Violet's either kissing Link or Aaron's just do it. And when Lincoln was taking the jewelry off, it was way hot. It would have been way hotter for him to do it if Aaron wasn't watching. It was just really creepy. That scene was fucking creepy as hell. And he was continuing where Aaron left off. I mean, he was like using his mouth to take off the other rings, and when he got to the spider on Violet's thigh, oh my god. Like, I think I would have just lost it. But anyway, where are we? Like, I'm serious. Violet, I love what Violet was thinking. Like, Violet's like, and she showed it in her face, too. She's like, she's gonna come back and kill you, son of a bitch. I want her to do that so bad. And then I like what Lincoln said, and then Lincoln said, for his deal, he's like, I want your word that once this is done, that we will have no opposition to our stay on the island. In addition, your assurance that you will not assist any other exiles coming here for any purpose. And I was like thinking, when did Lincoln become a warrior god? And I'm with Violet, because this was after he took off the jewelry. I'm still stuck on the fingers and on the fingers on skin and the champagne. Like, that would have been me. Like, that shit was really hot. Like, even though Aaron's an asshole and he's creepy. Aaron won't guarantee the exile portion. He might grant a similar arrangement. And Violet says she wants the necklace, to get to Steph. Because, Steph is human. But they both, Violet and Lincoln, need to lower the defense for the kiss. And I was like thinking, Aaron, you are genius. Thank you. I would have asked the same thing, too, if I was an incubus. But the necklace also must be kept hidden until they are off the island. And damn, that kiss was so hot. And I love the writing here. I fucking love it. And I'm going to give you why. Give you a good reason why with the quotes here. Yeah, I might end up going an hour on this. I don't even fucking care at this point. I felt him pull me closer, tighter but not tight enough. Never close enough. And I'm thinking, mind attack. Mind attack. Yes, reading my mind here. Men, this is how you really kiss a woman you love. Seriously. And I don't blame Violet and Lincoln for holding on for dear life. And I was like thinking, oh, Aaron, I didn't see you feeding off their emotions. No shit, Violet said the L word and Aaron figured out the soulmate business. Damn it! And Aaron asked, this bastard, he asked what hauntings Violet and Lincoln saw in the deaths of his sons, the ancient Nephilim. And Violet saw nothing, empty hollows except the sounds, except, hearing the screaming. So Aaron says it's the screams of all those who laid upon them. And Aaron says Aaron, and it was so creepy because he said, the way he said it, he's like, it sounds like a symphony. I was like, God, okay, I take that back. I don't want Aaron anymore. It's like, God, he's creepy. And Aaron asked Lincoln the same question, and Aaron says he can see every form of his children take. And Lincoln says he saw Violet as she is tonight. And Aaron also says right after that Nephilim take the form of torment, and they show us exactly what we must dread in ourselves. I'm like, ouch, that gotta hurt, damn. And as soon as they get back, like Lincoln goes off at Josephine. I'm like, you fucking tell that bitch, because Josephine knew it. And I'm like, it's like this was an Eisen moment. This was a troll Eisen moment. And I gotta say, notice this is another bitch named Josephine. You have to notice that. And I was like, Violet, you tell Lincoln, a girl wants to be told she looks pretty at least. And, plus the nothingness goes back to the embrace when she stabbed herself. But, when she realized they were soulmates, Violet knew she had to have a soul. And she's still scared of what she is becoming and the things that she left behind. And I don't blame her for that. Because, if you stab yourself like the way she did when she embraced, and this is why you need to read Embrace so you can understand it. See, I love these hints that authors do, because it all ties back to, even the first book. Like, I understand what she's going through. And, if you don't feel, if you feel like you don't have a soul because of what you're becoming, I mean, come on, Lincoln, understand. And she ran up, she, had to get away from him because before Lincoln could explain, because she just couldn't take it, and I don't blame her. And after Lincoln confirmed that, Violet was the thing she dreaded most. I don't fucking blame her for running before he could hear her out, before she could hear him out. I don't fucking blame her. Like, I couldn't take it if the man I love said that to me. And Violet cried herself to sleep on the roof. She didn't even change. She just was like, I can't fucking take this. I would have totally lost it. And Phoenix woke up. She woke up to Phoenix, and she sensed Phoenix watching her sleep, which is kind of creepy. And was there when she awoke with coffee that, had ginseng mixed in it to, give her that extra boost. Which, I kind of want to try that to see if that helps with energy. Not with coffee, probably with diet soda or something. And Phoenix hates Violet, and I liked what he said. He said, I had a life before you. It wasn't perfect, but I had it in hand. You made me want things, want to belong, and now I won't stop until I do. And this is why he's doing. This is why he is trying to release Lilith. He wants to belong. And I used to feel that way. I used to want to belong, and now I don't care if I belong. Like, I realize that. Like, I don't care if I belong. I want to be me, and that's how everyone should feel. Like, they shouldn't feel like they want to belong. And it kind of reminds me of that song from Hercules, Go the Distance. That's what it reminds me of. And then on Lilith, she will take the world for her own, and I will be the sun that made it possible, and that's why he's releasing Lilith. And then he says to Violet, and this is how he thinks of Violet now, I was never your friend, and anyway that person is gone. All that's left is the exile. I have arrangements to tend to, but I'll return. Meet me up here tonight at midnight, because I'm inclined not to take your life yet, but your friends are more expendable. I don't just have exiles here, lover. There's still a number at home watching over your father. And it's like Phoenix has lost himself in the darkness, and because love will do that to you, like, especially if you get rejected. And I kind of understand where he's coming from. But Josephine is having a meeting with the assembly with Lincoln and without Violet. And I love Spence. Spence is like, Like, especially when you get into to the next book, you'll understand why I love Spence. Like, it's time for recon with him. Like, Spence is like I'm sorry, Maddox. Spence is like the best book best friend ever. Like, I want Spence to be my best friend. So we find out the first unknown Gregory that's in the room, because there was a couple of unknown Gregory in the room, is a rogue named known as Gray, who has been stranded on the island for a month without the Keeper's permission. And Gray is going to bring in rogue forces in the next couple of days. And when you get to Empower, you will understand why Gray is important. And yeah, you got then Lincoln basically busted Spence and Violet. It wasn't pretty. And it was like a total burn too, because you know, he basically called Violet a child and disciplined. And being disciplined is not hot, Lincoln, seriously. Well, it's hot in the bedroom, but it's not hot when you're doing it like that and taking away your key. I mean, shit. And then Knox appears, first by Steph's bed and then lies down in Steph's bed, and found out that the dress was Knox's idea. Well, after all, coincidence is his specialty. And this is when we know that the privacy with the darkness from Phoenix, this is why I think Knox was behind this, because of what he said right here. He says, you didn't really think it was only by chance that the dress you swooned over in the presence of darkness would not come to show you its favor? Before I go, I wonder, if you could have something you desire greatly, something that has been denied to you for centuries, would you open the gates of Tartarus for yourself? Just like that, the grains of sand and a button was left behind. And I was thinking to myself, that's when I knew right there that when he gave Phoenix and that was Knox that was behind giving Phoenix and Violet privacy. There you go. And now we're going to Nia Kamini, and Lincoln is still weak from the succubus, and I thought this was really sweet. So when Violet went to go get changed, Sal spent the night in their hotel room on the floor, of course. I thought this was so sweet of Sal, an honorable Sal, and it makes me like Sal even more. He was worried that Violet was going to walk at any moment and suspect that he was going to take Steph's virtue. I was like, oh, that's so sweet. We need more men like Sal in the world. It makes me want to go date Italian. And some of the other ninjas that, according to Morgan, anyway, that are there. There's Hiro and Mia, who have been at the academy for 4 years and worked for Josephine for 2 years and are the head ghosters. And the other ninjas are conductors, and they work out everyone's strengths and how they can be put to best use in different scenarios. You know, just like a conductor at a symphony. And Max and Morgan are shields. So Morgan's strengths allow her to send pulses of confusion, which is pretty badass, if you ask me. It's kind of like the orb of confusion in that Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy use in SpongeBob. And Max can glamour large spaces so humans can't see exile battles, which is pretty awesome. And according to Morgan, Josephine wants Violet on the bench, and Morgan overheard Josephine tell the conductors that the plan was not to use Violet anyway. Oh, the conductors were not happy with that shit. They did not like that, and then Josephine told them to basically shut the fuck up. It's my way or the highway. And that just reminded me of how Josephine was in, how Josephine and the Cal were fighting in God the Monsters about Ari's power. And so Josephine's power, because she was being such a bitch and trolling everybody by using her power and covering everyone in dirt. I thought it was hilarious because she was causing rocks to explode on the volcano. So basically Josephine's power is that she could separate atoms, so that's the explosions. And she can't move anything larger than a pencil, though, by herself. So by herself, she's useless. But Hiro's special power is gravity for short periods of time in small areas, but enough to lift objects at hover level to see the double effect. And I'm like, now Violet is feeling more like herself than she sensed the exiles when they touched back at the island. I'm like thinking, Josephine, you fucking bitch, because Josephine threatened Violet that she will be removed from the island and Lincoln will be assigned a different partner if she screws up the mission. I'm like, fuck you, Josephine, seriously, go fuck yourself. And like I love that because Steph and Violet are talking about it. I think it was Steph and Violet were talking about it, but like Onyx and Dapper's Violet was thinking about it because they were in Violet and Steph's room talking about the scripture, and like behind Onyx and Dapper's, I love Onyx and Dapper's alcohol-fueled relationship. It's so cute. And while discussing the scripture, Dapper and Steph, I thought this part was cool. So Dapper, Steph, and Onyx and Violet took a map of the island and noticed the all-seeing eye with the Nia Kamini at the center, which would be considered the anchor and a mark of great power. So the inverted triangle has been seen throughout. I thought this part was really interesting. So the inverted triangle has been seen throughout history to symbolize water, and the upright triangle would be fire, and the two combined divine union, and in some religions, resurrection. So now I know what the Star of David means. And I love what Violet says. She's like, you know what? With Violet and Onyx, I have to mention it. You know the one good thing about Phoenix opening the gates of hell? And Onyx is like, pray tell. And Violet's like, I know where to drop you off. And everyone started laughing, even Onyx. And Onyx says that when he is around people of power, that he starts feeling his power returning. Explains why he healed so fast. And Onyx also confirms that Violet's soul is fighting her. And when denied long enough, the soul will have a mind of its own, and this is when he's talking about soulmates. And the best way to join souls is through sex, but if a connection is strong enough, a look, a kiss, words of declaration, and will be enough too. And if Violet dies now, Lincoln's soul will not be shattered, because this is when they're having dinner, and Violet was trying to sneak off. Like Onyx is slowly becoming one of my favorite side characters too. Like I'm slowly loving more and more of the characters, but I will say this, I love, like out of the side characters, I think I love the most, Dapper, Spence, and, I think Onyx. Those are my three favorites. I love them. And Steph to an extent too. I love Steph too. But yeah, and of course I love Violet and Lincoln. Those are my top 5 from this series. I will have to say that right now. And then I love that Onyx is going to cause a diversion. And I love, he's like, I shall be disappointed if you don't prevail. And it's like, oh, he actually cares. And he actually confirms that, if you remember in the last Book Nerdigan video, I talked about the prophecy. He confirms that the highest command portion of the scripture is referring to Violet because she is of the soul. And like right before she goes to meet up with Phoenix, she has an interesting meeting with Gray because Lincoln is nowhere to be found at the moment. And he says to her, but like you say, I have somewhere else I need to be. So we'll pick this up a different day. And just so you know, I'll be looking forward to it. So we got some foreshadowing here. And Phoenix is on the rooftop with Gretzel and Oliver, and there's a compromise going on here. I will help minimize the destruction because Violet, wants to save the people of Santorini. I can't promise to save everyone, but I can prevent the masses from going down with the volcano. I'll save thousands if you, Violet, basically Violet, come with me. And I love it when Lincoln busted into the scene to try and save the day. Where were we here? Let's see. Oh, and here we go, Phoenix. And basically Phoenix is like, if Violet doesn't come with him, he's going to release the Gregory scripture to Gretzel and Oliver, and they're going to do whatever the fuck they want. And Gray is working with Lincoln, so after all, Gray is the one who alerted him. So I'm thinking, yes, Lincoln, remind Violet she never takes the easy way out, damn it. So basically Phoenix's point of view, it's interesting to hear our story so far from Phoenix's point of view because, Violet went with Phoenix. Because there was a point, before that there was like a understanding with Lincoln and Phoenix. And that's going to be a theme too. throughout the rest of the series. Is there's like a common understanding with Lincoln and Phoenix. Well, actually, that's been a theme throughout the series. If you think about that there's like a common point of understanding, and it kind of like if you think about it, it kind of reminds me of Goku and Vegeta a little bit. And like a few of the other Angel series that we get to, you'll see that as well. Anyways, let's see where I'm at here. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna have to do a part 3 here because it's getting way too long, and I thought I was gonna have, and this is a good part to cut it off at. So I want to know what you guys think about where we're at so far. So I'm leaving you guys at a cliffhanger, and when we get back, we're gonna start off at Phoenix's point of view. So I'm curious. I want to know what you guys think about the character development up until this point, and I really want to know what you guys think, especially about Onyx. And I want to know what you think of Josephine. I want to know what you guys think about Onyx and Dapper's relationship. I want to know what you guys think about the mythology, too. And I want to know what you guys think about Keeper's story. The Keeper story was really interesting, and I want to know what you guys think about him as, about the exile, like, about him being the original, about Aaron being the original Gregory, and about him being an incubus. And I want to know what you guys think about what Nox said too, and about especially the fact that he was the one that gave Violet privacy, and especially what he said about the darkness, because I'm telling you right now, what he said about the darkness is gonna come back in Endless. I'm telling you right now, because I just finished rereading Endless last night. It's gonna come back. So until next time, Book Nerdigans, I will see you in part 3. Keep on reading, Book Nerdigans. Keep on reading.